Tonight on Connecticut's news station, the entire nation is taking time today to remember lives lost to transgender violence. We'll take you to ceremonies here in our state.
And tracking a storm that will bring wind-driven heavy rain before Thanksgiving. We'll talk about what you need to know for travel plans coming up.
And we're finally hearing from Glastonbury police over allegations one of their own former officers committed a string of burglaries over multiple states.
Now at 10, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
We begin tonight on the Weather Watch as Connecticut braces for some serious rain and wind to hit the state tomorrow night. Thanks for joining us here at 10. I'm Brent Harden.
I'm Sarah Sanchez. Expect that storm to stretch into the evening, potentially complicating your Wednesday travel plans, all dependent, of course, on how long it sticks around.
Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank has been poring over the maps and the radars and the satellites all night. She joins us now with the latest forecast. Rach, should people expect a washout as they're hitting the roads? That's the question.
I think the heaviest rain will be centered right around the time of daybreak heading into Wednesday morning. So if you could hold off on travel plans around that time, you'll end up missing the worst part of this storm. It always seems like this time of year as we head into Thanksgiving week, there's got to be a storm causing mischief somewhere in the country. And this one is causing all kinds of problems. Severe weather in the south. There will be a lot of accumulating snow in the mountains of northern New England. But for us, we are mostly talking about a wind-driven rain event. This will get started tomorrow evening. Rain for most, although briefly there could be a mix or some snow, especially in the northern hill towns. Overall, though, we're expecting around an inch or two of rain, and there could be gusts out of the southeast heading into Wednesday morning when they'll be the worst, right around daybreak, that are gusting up to 30 to 40 miles per hour, and along the shoreline, maybe even a bit higher than that. Right now, temperatures are cooling off in a big way. We've already got some 20s out there, and we're looking at overnight lows dropping back into the teens to around 20 as we head towards daybreak tomorrow. Otherwise, heading into tomorrow, we'll start the day off with plenty of sunshine, but we'll see increasing clouds as the day progresses. High temperatures climbing into the low 40s inland, mid to upper 40s for the Connecticut shoreline. And as we head towards and after 6 o'clock, we'll start to see that rain developing. And again, there could be a few slippery spots in the hills before the changeover. Your full forecast will show you the future radar, get you all geared up before Thanksgiving, and talk about Turkey Day itself coming up.
Hi, Rachel. Thank you. New at 10 tonight. Today is National Transgender Day of Remembrance, a day to commemorate and honor the lives of transgender people who've been targeted and killed in acts of anti-trans violence.
Many local communities held their own vigils tonight. Fox 61's DeAndrea Turner joins us in studio with more on the message from people here and all across the U.S. DeAndrea.
Hi, Brent and Sarah. Well, today was a very sad day for many people, remembering the lives of transgender people who have not just been killed in acts of hate, but who have also died by suicide. Their message is one of perseverance.
I am just a woman who wants to be myself. My trans siblings, we just want to exist and participate in society.
That's Brianna Scavera's message as she reflects on the lives lost this Transgender Day of Remembrance. She spearheaded one of the many events across the state that offered safe places for people on Monday evening to remember those they've lost to deadly acts of violence and by suicide.
Every year, I hope that there's fewer names on the list, but there's always too many.
According to the new Human Rights Campaign report, 33 transgender and gender non-conforming people have been killed in the United States since last year's Transgender Day of Remembrance. Reverend Aaron Miller with the Metropolitan Community Church of Hartford says this day is not only about remembering the lives lost, but protesting the treatment of those fighting for equality today. More than 400 anti-LGBTQ+ bills have been introduced across the nation since the start of 2023.
In spite of the fact that we're being murdered or we're actually taking our own lives due to the way the world is and how we're being treated, this is a day that we can gather together and say, you're not going to win. Hate is not going to win. Only love will win.
As they continue to persevere, they want others to know
you are seen and that you have value and you have worth.
And there is a Trans Lifeline, a crisis and peer-supported hotline for the transgender community available at all hours of the day. We have those details on our website at fox61.com. For now in the studio, DeAndrea Turner, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, DeAndrea, thank you. Today also marks the start of Survivors of Homicide Victims Awareness Month. Local leaders joined family members of victims of homicide at the Capitol this morning, many holding photos of their loved ones who were lost to violence. This month aims to educate the public about the impact of homicide on families and communities, while also highlighting support available for those who've lost loved ones to violence.
No one understands the pain that we suffer each and every day.
The survivor's motto is, "You are not alone." And that's one of the key elements to recovering and to putting the pieces of our lives back together.
Survivors of Homicide Victims Awareness Month is part of the Connecticut General Assembly's newly enacted legislation to dedicate various days, weeks, and months to raising awareness for a variety of issues.
New at 10 tonight, parents and religious leaders in Meriden protest peacefully outside the city's Board of Ed meeting. They say they want a chance to speak with the superintendent, but they claim they haven't gotten the chance. Leaders from the St. Rose of Lima Church education team lit candles outside the Meriden Board of Ed building and stood vigil with some of its supporters. They were there on behalf of church parishioners who have concerns for their children in the district. They want to discuss things like bullying and language services. They claim the superintendent has refused to meet and won't meet with, quote, outside groups.
This is where democracy comes into play. This is not about, this is about trying to contribute to the common good for all the students in Meriden.
We've reached out to the Meriden Superintendent's office and we are still waiting to hear back.
New details tonight about sexual assault allegations involving a former New Haven police officer. Now 41-year-old Jeremy Elliott of South Glastonbury took on many roles within the department, working closely with young children. Fox 61 New Haven County Bureau reporter Julia LeBlanc digs into the document detailing the claims against him.
It's been 2 years since Officer Elliott has worked for the New Haven Police Department, but when he did, he was a supervisor for the Police Activity League, which works directly with children. It was in that role, the warrant alleges, he started a relationship with a minor.
We're taking every measure possible that this doesn't happen again.
In March of 2023, New Haven Police Chief Carl Jacobson and his investigators got a complaint from a victim dating back to a 2012 sexual relationship she allegedly had with former New Haven police officer Jeremy Elliott.
I was disappointed.
After an 8-month investigation, Elliott was arrested and charged with sexual assault. Now he's out on a $100,000 bond. This warrant detailing the allegations against him.
It's just not okay, period.
Officer Elliott was a school resource officer and a supervisor in a program called the Police Activity League, where police work with kids to connect with the community. The document alleges at the age of 32, he started a sexual relationship with one of the 16-year-old camp counselors. Documents detail a relationship where Elliott would pick the victim up at her house late at night, driving around to different places where they would engage in sexual acts in his car. Many times, the warrant claims he was in uniform, one time parked in a SWAT car at the police academy. The document says, quote, "This occurred approximately every other day, and the victim explained she had sexual intercourse with Elliott approximately 20 times inside and outside of PAL."
I just want to say that this incident, it's not about PAL or SROs, it's about Officer Elliott. It's his behavior that was wrong.
In the decade that's passed since this alleged relationship began, Chief Jacobson says the process to become a school resource officer or work with the Police Athletic League has become stricter for officers.
I want people to know that the selection process is harder. The overlook by the department of every program that's going on related to children is more thorough.
Jacobson tells us Elliott was also disciplined in 2017 after an internal affairs investigation found he was engaging in inappropriate contact with at least one other minor. At that point, he was put on leave and then transitioned into different roles before leaving in 2021. We are in New Haven. Julia LeBlanc, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Julia, thank you. An update out of Glastonbury tonight, where police have broken their silence after a former officer was arrested for multiple burglaries. Patrick Hemingway resigned from the force 2 months ago. He's accused of stealing from more than 30 businesses in Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts between February and June of this year. He was an officer with the Glastonbury Police Department at the time. In a statement today, Glastonbury police said they feel a, quote, mix of embarrassment and anger, as it is disheartening to see someone who once wore our patch and worked alongside us blatantly betray the public's trust. Hemingway is expected back in court in January.
'Tis the season for giving back to the community. Fresh off a win on the road in Minnesota, the UConn women's basketball team was on hand to help give out turkeys to hundreds of families this Thanksgiving. Players and head coach Gino Auriemma joined folks from the Midwest Food Bank to deliver turkeys and other food to families in the Squire Village housing complex in Manchester. Like many food drives this time of year, this one's important to families who are food insecure.
200 turkeys with fixings are being donated to Manchester Public Schools from Gino Auriemma. The entire Squire Village housing complex is getting taken care of with turkey and sides by Mr. Gino Auriemma.
And we're trying to make sure that, there's a lot of food insecurity, and not just in Manchester, but, everywhere in Connecticut, I'm sure. And we're just trying to do our part to help fill a gap.
The food bank says Coach Auriemma donated over 500 turkeys, one for each of the families in the complex, and enough extra for another 200 plus families across the Manchester area.
That's a lot.
Good to hear.
Yeah, good for them. Okay.